Travis just washed the 7600. That means it's time to go haul some manure. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to How Farms Work. Dad is currently in the JCB, and we've got the 7600 and this manure spreader out here at my place. And we're moving some manure before we start doing some tillage. That way to get rid of any piles that we might have, to get it out on the fields before we do the tillage so that we can incorporate it into the soil. And now's a great time to do it, because otherwise the piles might sit there all summer long. So Dad's in the JCB with the MDS bucket, and he's loading up the spreader right now. We're gonna walk down and start spreading some manure. Running this new idea spreader is a little bit of throwback for me, because I'm used to running those coon spreaders that we were running last fall, and doesn't do near as nice of a job. after we finished spreading, we took the JCB and the 7600 back to the main farm. We unhooked the spreader and we washed off the JCB, did some maintenance to it, greased it up, and I did some calling around, and the boom is rather squeaky on it. So I called up JCB and they said that they put wax oil on those booms. So I called around, and I'm not totally sure where I can get some wax oil from, but he pretty much just said to cover that boom in wax oil, and that's what they do to help it slide easier. And I noticed that it's screeching quite a bit when we go to extend it, so I'm gonna try to find some wax oil and see if we can do that. But that's pretty much it for this video. Things are slowly speeding up. We're doing more and more every day. And last night Travis went out and spread fertilizer on the pasture out there, mostly because last year there wasn't a lot of grass that grew up on those grass patches over on that hillside over there. So that's a good portion of where my cattle's feed comes from throughout the summer. And we've been making hay off it for a few years, and it's been quite a few years since we've fertilized it. So we went ahead and spread fert on it and called it good. Right now I'm on my way to Richie's in Cobb. They are a JCB dealer, and I called them up. I've been looking around for what's called wax oil for the JCB Teleskid, and I've been searching around for it. Couldn't have found any of it that's nearby, but I'm like, why don't I just call Richie's? They're a JCB dealer. And it turns out they have 2 cans of it. So what the wax oil is for is the telescoping boom on the Teleskid. So if you've watched a couple of our videos, you might have heard when we extend the boom, there's a screeching at times from it sliding on the pads. And what you're supposed to do is put wax oil on it. So I'm going to pick up 2 cans of that. I'm going to go back to the farm, and we're going to put the wax oil on the boom and do some other work to the JCB as well. It's about time to do maintenance on it. So I'm about to pull into Cobb, and I'm gonna grab those cans and head back home. All right. So this is all it is. Simple enough, 22 bucks for 2 cans. Hopefully that'll do the entire boom on the JCB. I brought the JCB over to the farm because I'm gonna be changing the oil in it today. I'm gonna park it on the level, extend the boom, lube that up, check all the fluids in it to make sure it's good to go for this year. according to that, it's right there.
Yep.
Loosen the bleed screw on top of the cooler pack. Operate the fuel lift pump by switching on the ignition until fuel exits the bleed screw.
Yeah.
Literally. I mean, the room, they had parts of it.
Now that I've done changing all the fluids, prime the engine, turn the ignition switch to position 1, and allow the system to self-check for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Identify the engine ECU. Power feeds fuse A2. Check. Remove it, turn the ignition switch to position 2, and crank the engine for the duration specified. This primes the new oil filter with fresh oil. Set a timer for 20 seconds. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. Okay. Install the fuse. Start the engine. Operate the engine at idle speed until the low pressure warning light has extinguished and new filter primed before the engine RPM is increased above idle speed. Check for oil leaks. Check the oil level. Top it off if necessary. There we go.
All right, time to wax up the boom. Should probably run a cloth over it to try to get some of that excess dirt off. It doesn't have to be super clean, it's just gotta be, get all the loose dirt and stuff off of it. Yeah. Oh yeah, one can should do it. Pretty much use one whole can. You know, Kevin, I think it's missing something. I just can't quite put my finger on it.
What's that?
I think I know.
Are you actually filming this?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Point it at me.
How am I? I am, ain't I?
Nope.
Oh. That way. I guess you didn't get nothing on that but that rake. What are you putting on there now? What's that?
We're giving it character.
You should never let me run this camera.
Why?
Because you're probably burning up footage. What are you doing? What are you doing?
What?
That's awesome. What's the reason for this?
I don't know. Just felt like it.
Where'd you get them?
Online. There we go.
Perfect. You know, you got one higher than the other.
Yeah, kind of looks like you now. To remind me of you every time I see you.
Got a little off. Just a little off.
I'm gonna leave the boom extended overnight so that the wax oil can dry. But changing the oil out, since this is the first time that I did it, changing the oil wasn't real bad. Same with the fuel filter. It was just a slow process because I haven't done it before. But overall, really, it was straightforward. You just had to remove that access panel underneath the back to drain the oil pan, and then everything else is pretty much just done up in the engine compartment. I had to take the shield over the radiator off so that I could open that bleed plug for the fuel, but other than that, wasn't real bad. So I have some news coming up on the JCB Teleskid. I'll probably cover that in another video. Just want to let you guys know, keep an eye out for it. Making a verdict on the JCB, what's going to happen with it, and whatnot. So that's pretty much it for this vid. Thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to check out all of our other videos. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And be sure to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. All How Farms Work. And with that, I'll see you next time.